operator's reference was described as Metis. Why was that?
Would you like to?
Yes, of course, by all means. Well, let me clarify a few things. I said earlier on that few ships have sea trial data. They have short trial data. Serafin referred to sea trials collectively. Now, short trial data are very far from how the ship behaves when she's operating. Short trial is you take the main engine, you put it somewhere, you run it on a very fine fuel, and then you take data. But when you go on board, the engine is nowhere near this simulation. And therefore, whatever data you have, I can actually show you in our next probably meeting how different the actual data is from the short trial data. As regards to the sea trials, I happen to have two sister ships. I will not tell you where they were built, but for one of them, we actually had sea trial data. Well, actually, I'm not surprised to see that the sister ship is different, because they're not exactly the same. They're sisters on paper, but as far as we marine engineers are concerned, they're not actually sisters. They look the same, and perhaps we could be drawn the same, but they aren't. So sea trials are not actually useless, but they become an ineffective tool when it comes to calculating efficiency to the level that we are asked to do. So I would like to close with that.
Okay. And next, machine learning requires a large amount of data. Does this solution require good and expensive sensors?
No, definitely not. For 95% of the cases or the usages of machine learning, you can depend on the sensors that you have already on board.
Let me add a few things here and assist my colleague here. What we had to buy is a torque meter, because ships don't have this kind of equipment. I had to replace my flow meters, and I am actually using Coriolis flow meters now to make sure that my data is more accurate, and that's about it. So flow meters and torque meters. The rest is already there.
And even about Coriolis, okay, there is a big discussion
There
on
is a
that.
discussion,
Okay.
yeah.
I think that you can succeed also useful results even with
Without them.
Without them.
Yes. Perhaps we could talk about that another time.
Yes. Now about Wi-Fi, when I'm talking about wireless network, it is not Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is not really reliable, and it is not designed to be used inside industrial areas with a lot of noise because of the generators, and especially in the vessels, you have a lot of reflection because of the metal surfaces. Personally, we are using in our company, we are using Zigbee. This is another protocol for wireless social networks, and of course we have implemented some added layer to increase the reliability of it. The next.
This one.
When you said.
Yeah, well, it's not an easy question, but the answer is equally not easy. I'm not actually permitted to refer to financial data to my company, but I will try and give you an example. You know, when we fix a ship for a specific hire, we have the hire rate, we have the performance data, and of course we have the dreaded off-hire rate. What does that mean? It means that if for some reason you do not perform as you describe yourself to perform, then you pay money back to the shipper or the charter. And one of the biggest savings that we have is to avoid the unnecessary off-hires. It is impossible to eliminate the off-hires. You will always have off-hires, but you can reduce the amount you pay for off-hires by measuring specific data. And this is performance data, bunkers that are very, very sensitive, and other things. So in terms of money, because the question actually I believe refers to money, this is one kind of a saving. The second one is the preventive maintenance. To overhaul a cylinder liner of a main engine crew requires to stop the ship for approximately a day if they're good. If you calculate this with today's rates, you're talking about $10,000 a day for a bulk carrier. So if you plan and you look ahead, you avoid this kind of expenses. This is saving. I don't know if I have answered, but
let's go on because we have plenty of it. Plenty more. So the next one, what do you do to check continuously that data are flowing, matching connectivity and quality? Standard, okay. Yes, first of all, when we are talking about measurement units and etc., we in our data acquisition devices, when we are talking about a parameter, each parameter is in a specific measurement unit, and we do everything at this level to change the measurement units. So about if a measurement is inside the range or it is outside of it, of course, again, it is very easy to insert a range that we are expecting to receive the parameters. But if you have to parameterize a system on one vessel and putting all these ranges, if you are talking about 200 or 300 parameters that you are receiving, it is a difficult task. So we are working on learning machines and let the device decide if a measurement is inside this range, a specific range, this is normal, or it is out a range and this is something that it was never faced before. And the next, of course, you say you don't use a report. No, okay, I'm not, maybe my English was not so good. First of all, of course, as you saw in my example here, Metis sends directly a full report when something is happening. Maybe it is not necessary to receive regularly, let's say daily or hourly, reports from a system and extended the reports, okay? So maybe in more of the cases it is important to receive an extended report only under specific circumstances. Otherwise, you are going to spend a lot of time reading the reports without actually but there are reports, yes, of course.
Okay. Thank you very much. We're going to have to move things along. That's been fantastic. Thank you.